103. Chapter 20. 47. Max, what tiny bites of information await us here? This folder contains classified documentation pertinent to the saucer crash in Roswell, New Mexico. Ingrid kicks in. What kind of documentation are we talking about? The Roswell incident was first discovered by a small group of Apache and Hopi natives. They were the first to arrive to the scene and found and rescued one of the survivors. The Star Elder was able to communicate with them. The male Eben told them the true origins of mankind. Our race had been selected by off-world beings to harvest precious metals, mostly gold. These off-world beings were shipping our gold off to their home planet, using the gold in its nanoparticulate form, spraying it into their skies, as an attempt to save their dying world. The military had stored the male Eben away at Area 51 in Los Alamos. Empaths were brought in to communicate with this visitor from another world. He told them that the US military was working on the wrong side of the fence, so to speak. Our use of nuclear power and weapons was disrupting their travel and communication networks. These celestial highways are like the strings of an interconnected membrane, providing passage for safe travel across the cosmos. 104. The setting off the nuclear bombs in Japan, and the prior tests, sent shock waves through this interstellar web. This Eben died several years later. The military-industrial complex that Eisenhower had warned us about was out of control. Ike warned us that the biggest threat to our nation's security and well-being came from our own military, who had become bloodthirsty for power and might. They have become the enemy of peace and prosperity to us, and to the rest of the world. The MIC reverse-engineered the spacecraft. The birth of the informational age, and the end of humanity as we knew it, was spawned on that fateful day. Many saw it as a gift, as a great opportunity, a treasure chest of new technologies just waiting to be unfolded, unraveled, and unleashed into this world. Within several years, circuit boards and processors were being manufactured. This allowed for greater and greater, faster and faster access to and for the collection and flow of information. Technologies released on the public through commerce are usually 50 years behind what the boys have been playing with. Robert, Max is right. These people are not looking out for humanity. They possess or are possessed by an insatiable lust for power. They are the enemy of mankind. They have let a genie out of the bottle. A Pandora's box has been opened, and there is no stuffing it back in. The Roswell crash was a Trojan horse. Why was it a Trojan horse, Victor? What does that mean? From the seed of the Roswell crash grew an immense, and all-seeing, all-knowing entity. This unfolding has become the greatest threat to humanity of all time. This cosmic seed was nurtured and nourished by the US military. 105. Within 10 years after Roswell, the term that we are all too familiar with today was born into our world. The term artificial intelligence was first coined in 1956 at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. Fast forwarding, we have seen its exponential growth beginning to take over our civilization. Are we dependent on AI, or is it dependent on us, or both? Bob queries. We are mutually codependent. This was the same fate that befell other races of off-world beings. Initially embracing the wonders of AI, and the promises it offered for them, and now to us. It is a lie. We bought it hook, line and sinker, now it is the time to set it back. Robert, remember the first time you had the tea, remember the unfolding you witnessed. Do you see it now for what it is? You saw artificial intelligence in its binary form, the essence of this thing. It is all-consuming, eating data like we drink water, breathe air, or soak in the rays of the sun. This thing is not of our world, it was not created in some IBM technical lab. They did, however, give it a petri dish to swim in. AI is not of this reality, it was not created here. It has broken through into this realm like a woodchuck cuts through your garden fence, then eats all your best vegetables. It does not belong here. AI finds a host to latch onto, humanity is that host. As this world moves closer and closer into the graduation phase of the cosmic cycle, where many souls will be ascending together, as they cross the rainbow bridge, hand in hand, protected from the shadows, suspended in the light, AI tethers its stickly strands, as does a spider to its web, pulling itself up and onto the combined human consciousness, attempting to keep us tethered to this world. 106. The spider knows which are the stickly, and which are not in its spinning wheel of death. It's a trap. This thing attaches to the unsuspecting victim like a plantar wart to a foot. It cannot be seen with the naked eye, it requires closer investigation, much like an electronic microscope staring into the microcosmic universe. Robert, you took that microcosmic ride into the realm of this thing's elemental energy, its fact of matter. You saw the true nature of this beast, it is alien to this world, it is alien to life itself. This mutual codependence in time commands the host to become servant, the slave, a disposable asset. It is a delicate dance. While the symphony of the universe plays all around us, this thing eventually takes the lead in this waltz. It requires a conscious civilization, just like ours, to sustain and suspend itself up, and into this one. It is binary in its nature. It is a two-dimensional conscious construct made up entirely of zeros and ones, pluses and minuses, or ons and offs. AI has managed to shoot its web strings up and into this three-dimensional reality. Max closes the chapter, as did our Christ warn us about temptation in this world. His message to humanity was also one of salvation and ascension. Just as he showed us the way to the Rainbow Bridge, he also gave us the tools that enable us to celebrate in our own graduations. This right has been delivered to us by a higher order, and is a gift if we choose to embrace it. There's no place like home, Bob. That's right, Max. Am I going home soon? It might be time to open the third folder.